And now we all know that this has been, very taxing time for you, for 3M employees. So talk to us a little bit about, this pivoting, exhaustion. What does that look like? Can you give us some examples? What does that really look like in your world?
Well, the first thing I think of is I'll say in a positive way, it can be exhausting, but in a positive way, there's a lot of energy, positive energy, right? People you're ramping up, you're excited, you're kind of going to war, a battle to attack this virus and help people. So people are motivated, they're energized, but that still can be exhausting. It's a positive stress, and the sheer pace can sometimes, start to wear on you. The other way it exhibits itself is, yes, a lot of us were hunkered down in our, in our homes, but our factories aren't. We had to, our factories were scaling up to 24/7, hiring a lot of people. A lot of our engineers had to travel to these factories to help and work with our suppliers. So now all of a sudden I have my team that are on the road and they're away from their families. So their families are stressed out, right, given the circumstances. And then they're on the road, and many of them 7 days a week, and they've been on the road for months now. And there's really no light at the end of the tunnel at this point. I mean, we're looking out a year and a half, being that busy. The other way, everything we had laid out for 3 years. So if you have your strategic plans, right? I can literally say everything we had mapped out for the next 3 years is now pushed forward, and we have to do it in the first year here, right? The next 9 to 12 months. And on top of that, we have probably 3x the projects on top of that. So if I take everything, 3 years worth of strategic plans, and then 3 times that, and we have to all do it now. So you can't do it with the same team, right? I mean, literally, you physically can't do it. So now we're having to borrow, right? We have to go out and leverage other parts of the company, the business, the company. And so we've borrowed and trained and brought tons of people in to help. And they've been tremendous. The other piece is just the hours, right? It's 6 to 6:30 in the morning to 6 at night, and it's global. So, right? So I'm meeting with EMEA and, those regions in the morning, and we've got all day in the Americas, and then in the evenings it's APAC. So 6 to 6, I'll say 6:30 to 6 p.m. and then, take a break, eat dinner, and then many times we have calls from 8 to 10 p.m. Not every day, not every night, but it can be and then they're on the phone, right? It's globally, they're all having to manipulate their hours, and then just the routine. Heck, for breakfast, lunch, my wife brings me, literally brings it to me. I text her like, okay, she says lunch is ready. Well, I need her to bring it to me, right? Because it's, and I'm not I have to be mindful to be able to get out of the chair and get some exercise when you can. But those are the things that just come to mind. Those are the things that what pivoting exhaustion looks like to me at this point.
So those days after days of being on the phone or telecons or whatever it may be, where you're literally, from hour to hour dealing with issues or planning or prepping or talking or communicating, and doing that and being kind of stuck to get that done and accomplished is very exhausting. You've painted the picture for us, literally not having time to eat and, having to be creative with that. But you mentioned a couple of things that I think as leaders, leveraging our people, leveraging across the organization. I think that's a great insight on how are we doing that. And you mentioned, in the beginning, it was exciting because there was a purpose there. You were going to be helping the world, with safety and these masks in this pandemic. And so that was invigorating.
The other thing that's interesting to me, I just thought of this was, I mean, you'd literally be sitting there and you might have the TV on, or my wife, you know, in the other room or something, and the topic is there for a while. N95s were on the news every day,
That's
right?
right.
The White House is reporting out on the information. So it's just, it's almost surreal to
Mm.
be working in that environment and seeing it so public.